properly after their death. Between 12 and 27% of pet owners provide provisions for their pets in their wills, according to the Washington University School of Law. In fact, pet trusts have become so popular that 39 U.S. states now have statutes outlining them. At times, the deceased surviving relatives are left with little or nothing. These surviving relatives may take legal action to overturn the terms of the will. Nevertheless, that did not stop some animals from becoming overnight millionaires. Here are the 10 world's wealthiest animal heirs. Number 10. $43 million for Gunther III. According to BBC News, Gunther III, a German shepherd, inherited $65 million when his owner, the late German Countess Carlotta Liebenstein, died in 1992. Carlotta Liebenstein willed all of her approximately $65 million, 43 million pound fortune to her German shepherd, Gunther III. He received the money and assets after her death in 1992 and lived large until his own death. The humans who managed his doggy estate eventually invested Gunther's money and turned it into $375 million, which was passed on to Gunther's son, Gunther IV. Gunther IV enjoys a life of luxury. He has mansions in Italy and the Bahamas, and once purchased another mansion with 8 bedrooms in Miami from famous pop singer Madonna for $7.5 million. He even got to sleep in the master bedroom where Madonna used to sleep. Today, Gunther IV is worth over $400 million. He rolls in a chauffeur-driven limousine and has a maid and butler at his beck and call. He cools off by relaxing in his personal swimming pool, which is customized to his taste. Number 9. $13 million for Tommaso. Tommaso, a 4-year-old former stray cat from Rome, is now living large after his well-to-do owner and savior bequeathed him a fortune worth approximately $13 million. Maria Assunta left her entire estate, including properties in Rome, Milan, and land in Calabria, to her beloved animal, which will be distributed via her former nurse Stefania to care for the kitty. Assunta was the widow of a property tycoon and had no children or living relatives. But when she found Tommaso as a kitten in a Rome alley, she fell in love with the furry friend and was dedicated to giving him the best of everything, even after her death. The lucky cat Tommaso now lives with Stefania and another cat in a house outside of Rome. Number 8. $12 million for Trouble. Helmsley left her beloved white Maltese named Trouble, a $12 million trust fund, according to her will. While Trouble did not receive the bulk of Helmsley's estate, most of it went to charity, she got far more than Helmsley's relatives. Her brother, Alvin Rosenthal, received millions of dollars on the condition that he take care of Trouble. 2 of Helmsley's 4 grandchildren also got $5 million each on the condition that they visit their late father's grave once a year. Helmsley left nothing for 2 of Jay Panzerer's other children, Craig and Megan Panzerer, for reasons that are known to them, she wrote. But no one made out better than Trouble, who once appeared in ads for the Helmsley hotels and lived up to her name by biting a housekeeper. I direct that when my dog Trouble dies, her remains shall be buried next to my remains in the Helmsley Mausoleum, Helmsley wrote in her will. The mausoleum she ordered must be washed or steam cleaned at least once a year. She left behind $3 million for the upkeep of her final resting place in Westchester County, where she's buried with her husband, Harry Helmsley. Number 7. 30 million pounds to the poodle. Ella Wendell, the last surviving heir to a vast Manhattan real estate fortune built up over 2 centuries alongside the Astors, left her poodle dog, named Toby Rhymes, a fortune. Ella Wendell died in 1931 and willed $30 million to her French poodle, Toby Rhymes, who slept in her own brass bed beside Wendell. According to reports, that fortune has been passed down through the years to the descendants of the original dog, all named Toby Rhymes, and even grown over time. The current Toby is said to be worth millions. Number 6. $2 million for Bubbles. A lot is said about chimpanzee Bubbles, former favorite pet of Michael Jackson. Bubbles escorted Michael everywhere on the Bad Tour, at the Bad rehearsals, recording. Bubbles stayed with Michael in Japan in a 2-bedroom suite. First, Bubbles stayed at the Encino home. Then in 1988, he moved with MJ to Neverland, where Bubbles had a crib in MJ's bedroom. Rumor has it that he even used Michael's private toilet. Michael Jackson left his chimp $2 million to ensure he would have a secure long-term future. But so far, Bubbles hasn't seen a penny of his inheritance. However, fears that the chimp's increasing aggression might be a danger to Jackson's newborn son forced the preemptive relocation of Bubbles to an animal sanctuary in Florida, where he lives to this day. The animal trainer Bob Dunn says he's not sure if Bubbles will ever receive his share of Jackson's money. Number 5. $3 million for Conchita, Lucia, and April Maria. Heiress Gail Posner left $3 million to her 3 chihuahuas, as well as diamond dog accessories and an $8 million mansion in Miami. 3 dogs became instant millionaires after inheriting an $8.3 million beach home and a $3 million trust fund from their owner, Gail Posner. Even before Posner's death, the dogs, Conchita, Lucia, and April Maria, lived large. Gail Posner, their generous owner, ensured that her pets live large, with or without her presence. The dogs had their own staff, maids, weekly trips to the spa, and wore exorbitantly expensive jewels. Brett Carr, the only son of Gail Posner, was not impressed with the arrangement. He only got the income from a $1 million fund, which is less than what some members of Ms. Posner's staff received. All told, her employees split $27 million. Brett filed a lawsuit to challenge the will. He argued that the staff had drugged his mother and then brainwashed her to will her estate to the dogs so that her employees could control it. Brett's lawyer supported his stance, stating that Gail had a drug problem, suffered from several health issues, and was easily influenced. Number 4. $6 million estate plus $350,000 in cash to Samantha. Back in 1996, Sidney Altman, 60, willed a huge chunk of his $6 million estate, including $350,000 in cash, to Samantha, his Cocker Spaniel. In fact, the caretaker Dana was also given $60,000 a year to take care of Samantha and was allowed to live in the mansion until the dog died. Dana wasn't happy with that outcome. She had been living with Altman for 6 years and expected he would take care of her financially through his will after his death. Instead, the dog got everything. It was decided that after Samantha's death, the house would be sold and the money given to animal charities. At the time of Altman's death, the dog was 15 years old, which was approximately equal to 75 human years. So Dana knew she could only get her annual payments for a few years at most. She contested the will and demanded $2.7 million of Altman's estate. She said that Altman had promised to take care of her after she moved in with him. Her lawyer, Carrie Goldstein, argued that the will was outdated when Altman died. He had written the document in 1994, a few years after Dana started living with him. Yet, Altman described Dana only as a good friend in his will. Meanwhile, he wrote that Samantha was a loving companion and his primary concern. He did not want to see her suffer. Number 3. $15 million for Gigoo. The only chicken to make the top 10 richest pets list, Gigoo was owned by British publishing giant Miles Blackwell, who sold his interest in the family business and retired to the country late in life to raise rare sheep and hens. When Blackwell died in 2001, he gave much of his fortune to charity and reportedly left some 10 million pounds, $15 million in US currency today, to his apparently beloved hen, Gigoo. Number 2. Blackie. According to Guinness World Records, the world's wealthiest cat ever was Blackie, who inherited an estate worth $13 million when his owner, a British antiquities dealer named Ben Ree, died in 1988. Granted, internet sensation Grumpy Cat may be worth far more than that if you believe some of the estimates that have been passed around. Number 1. Chunmoon. For a while, the world's richest monkey was Kalu, a Congolese chimp who was once worth 40 million pounds. But its owner, eccentric aristocrat Patricia O'Neill, lost her fortune before Kalu could inherit it. Today, the world's most spoiled monkey could very well be Chunmun, a long-tailed macaque monkey purchased in 2005 for the equivalent of $8 by an Indian couple who were ostracized from their families because of their interfaith Muslim-Hindu marriage. The couple says their business took off after adopting Chunmoon, and they've thanked the monkey by raising him like a son with home-cooked meals and much pampering. They've even arranged an elaborate wedding for Chunmoon in 2010, and in the couple's will, the monkey is the sole heir to their home and business. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.